It's Heaven Hollywood. Welcome to Industry Stories. I believe this is episode 5. Um, Drake and Diddy. What really happened? Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard different variants of this story. And some of you, this is going to be the first time you've heard the story. And you probably said, what? Diddy and Drake? What? And why is Nicki Minaj down there? What does Nicki got to do with this? Why is Kris Jenner's picture down there? Because there's different variants of the story. And you know me, I like to give you the backstory. So you know exactly why whatever happened or didn't happen. You'll know the backstory behind it. So let's just give you the players in the story. Drizzy Drake, Cassie Ventura, also known as Cassie, Sean Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Brother Love Combs, Kris the Momager Jenner, and Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap. So, the location of this incident was at the Fontainebleau. And if you've ever been to the Fontainebleau in Miami, that's where the famous Club Live is located. All right, so Fontainebleau, you got Club Live, very spacious, it's a world famous club now. A lot of things has happened at Club Live. I got some or more stories about things that happened at Club Live down the road in Industry Stories. It's like every single celebrity, something happens there. All right. This was 2014. And if I'm not mistaken, it was before winter. It was probably the fall. I think it was the fall, based on the way they were dressed. So Drake was on fire at this time. As we all know, he was working on his. I think he had just put out the If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Oh no! What was not If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I believe it was Nothing Was the Same. Maybe was that the album with Worst Behavior on it, and started from I believe it was Nothing Was the Same. He's on fire. Biggest rap in the world. Diddy was in the process of doing a couple of things. Of course, he still had his Ciroc booming. Diddy at this point just needed an extra oomph to try to make it to that billionaire status. Diddy has been right on the cusp of that billionaire status for probably about close to 10 years. Now, Diddy and Drake had linked up because he wanted Drake to do some ghostwriting for him. Diddy was going to drop another album. He was going to do some joints with Drake. He had a couple other T.I. and he was going to do a record with T.I. and Tiny. Was going to get Tiny back in the mix. That was the only way T.I. was going to even allow Tiny to even do music. He got to be on the record. He got to be in with the sessions and all that. He was going to do a record with T.I. and Tiny. And he wanted Drake to ghostwrite 3 or 4 songs. So he got some beats, he gave them to Drake. Drake was supposed to take the beats home, pick which one he wanted or what have you, or whatever Diddy said write to. Drake was going to take home and write it, and then boom. Now, in the process of, in the mix of it, Drake ends up hearing Started from the Bottom. No, 0 to 100. 0 to 100. And Drake was like, man, I kind of like this for myself. So, when Drake was trying to contact Diddy, allegedly, about the songs, Diddy was like, yeah, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet, Playboy. Y'all, I'm coming. I'm doing, this and that, but we're gonna get up by the end of the month. So Drake's like, all right. So Drake holds off on the other songs, but he starts writing on 0 to 100. And when he wrote a song in like half hour, he's like doing the song like, oh, this is hot. I'm going to keep this for myself. I got other songs I like to give Puff. So Drake ends up putting out 0 to 100. I'm gonna assume, was 0 to 100 on it's I think it was on Nothing Was the Same. All right, so Diddy ends up hearing the song. Like Drake completes the song comes out, songs on the radio, and and Diddy's like, whoa, what the? Right, and Drake goes on and, gets awarded for the song, yada, yada, yada. Now, there's a party coming up for DJ Khaled. Drake and Diddy have not seen each other. Diddy's trying to contact him. Yo, Playboy, what's going on? Now, I'm trying to do this on memory, so the timelines might not be 100%, but you get my point. So they're having a party at Live Fontainebleau, hotel. College party. A lot of celebrities are there. Diddy's there with his little entourage, and he's got Cassie, right? Drake's there with his little entourage, a little smaller than Diddy's entourage, but Drake's there. Chubbs is with him. Probably 40, maybe 40. Like 40 don't really go out too much, but he may have had like one of the OVO people or whatever. Now, Diddy's moving around. Like when he gets into a club, when Diddy's like out of the club and he's got things going on, he moves around a lot, and then he assigns somebody to stay with Cassie. He assigns somebody to watch, not spy on her, but just make sure she's cool or whatever. Got somebody to stay with Cassie while he's making his moves. So Drake spots Cassie, allegedly. Allegedly comes up to Cassie. He's talking to her. Yeah, how you doing? Yo, Trill, looking real fly. You looking real fly tonight. And Cassie's like, oh, I'm like casual. Because Cassie, when she was out that night at Live, Cassie wasn't even really, she was like dressed down that night. And Drake's like, oh, I guess that's what happens when you're naturally beautiful. So, Cassie says, thank you, whatever, assuming. That's what she would say in that moment. So Drake is drinking, offers Cassie a drink. Cassie doesn't take the drink. She's already got her drink. The dude that's with Cassie is also, Diddy's like, if she wants something, have you, but we got our table, so she's gonna, she can get her drink from our table. So now Drake had spoke with Cassie a few years earlier because Cassie had came up to the studio and did a record with Nicki Minaj. And when Cassie came down there and did the record with Nicki Minaj, Drake was allegedly in on the session, and he was trying to push up then. Right? Now, Cassie, who she was not lying, I believe one of those times right before she was recording the song she did with Nicki Minaj, her and Puff was on the house. I mean, they broke up in their 10 or 11 years together. They probably broke up about 10 times. Right? But Drake knew pretty much that she ain't leaving Puff. So Drake allegedly was trying to push up on it. Now, I'm expanding this OVO thing. We're gonna, you should be the first lady of OVO. Like, what are you doing with your career? Like that song you have was such a bop. It was such a bop. Like, what are you doing with your career though? I understand, you man's girlfriend, but what about your career though? First lady of OVO, you should think about that. I can do things for your career, like, that, if you're gonna be man's girlfriend, that's cool, but you got a career ahead of you. So Drake's trying to tell Cassie, about some music. That was back in when she was doing the joint with Nicki Minaj. So I guess Cassie blew it off back then. Now allegedly, Cassie and Diddy get into an altercation around that time, and then she brings it up. Allegedly. People can see my potential. When I did this record, with Young Money, people are seeing my, she's saying people can see my potential. So Diddy already knows who she's talking about. Diddy already knows who she's talking about. So remember, he has a rapport with Cassie. So before we fast, we're going back to the night. Sorry, I had to go back just to let you know that he had kind of approached Cassie about it before. So now they're in the spot. Diddy sees Drake, gives him a nod. Drake gives Diddy a nod. Right? But Diddy wasn't gonna make a big deal about it in the club. So according to my boy, and like I said, my boy was with him that night. According to my boy, this is what happened. Now, the reason why I'm going in pieces was because the pieces that he couldn't fill in, I had to get filled in by people who was at the party. When I'm telling industry stories, if I'm not there myself, I'm only going to quote people who were actually there. It's never going to be he said, she said, they're my people. So I know for a fact these people were there. So Diddy, Cassie comes back after Drake is now a few drinks in. So now he's talking to Cassie, and you know what happens in a club. You have to, you got to get up on him because it's loud. Now you throw in a couple of drinks, and Drake's, pressing. It looks like he's pressing Cassie. So now the security guard can't really hear what Drake is saying. But you know how if you're with somebody, you can hear certain words. And according to what Diddy said to Drake, Drake must have been asking her again about, you're not doing nothing with your effing career. Did you think about that proposition? Blah, blah, blah. So now, the guy who is on Cassie with Drake, he brings Cassie back to the table, right? Because Drake's kind of getting borderline belligerent. She's trying to back him up with his hand. She's still keeping her composure. Cassie, is still keeping her composure. She's trying to listen to him, but then he's kind of getting a little bit aggressive. And she's like, she's trying to back him off because she know the dude is here. Dude takes Cassie back over to the area with Diddy. Now, the way Cassie was acting, I refuse to believe that Cassie went back and told Diddy, yeah, Drake was trying to press him. Just from the way it was reported back to me, she was acting. She was acting cool. Yeah, you know what? My boy was right there. So and so, right? Now it's coming time. So Diddy sends a message over to Chubbs that at 4, this is when Club Live is winding down. At 4, he wants to talk to Drake. Now, Club Live don't end at 4, but that's right around the time they start winding down the end. He gets a message over to Chubbs that he wants to talk to Drake outside. So Diddy, around that time, Drake goes out there. He's out there with Chubbs and maybe like 3 other dudes. Diddy comes out there with about 3 dudes. So Diddy comes up to Drake. And according to my boy, this is the conversation.